Hi, I'm Dr. Jerry Jampolsky.
And I'm Dr. Diane Cirincione from Attitudinal Healing International with another Attitudinal Healing Moment.
The story we want to share with you today is the story of a woman, I think she's about 37. She had 2 children, young children, and she had been a volunteer at our center some years before, and we kept a friendship up. Maybe we talked to each other about every 6 months. And she called this day saying that she just wanted us to know that she's getting a divorce. She's going the next day to take out her divorce papers. And I let her talk for some time. And as she caught her breath, I said, is it an emergency that you need to go to the lawyer tomorrow, or is that something that could wait a week? She said, well, I guess I could wait a week. And I said, you know, what gets into most people's problems when they're thinking about divorce and seriously considering it is that they're making a lot of judgments. They're finding more information why they can blame their spouse. And they're interpreting all the time to find out more ammunition. So it sounds like you think the marriage is impossible and you want out of it. But I'm going to suggest an attitudinal healing thought for you to consider. And that is, do you think you could go through a whole week not making any judgments about your husband, not interpreting him, and just be a love finder? Look for things that you can love in him. Would you be willing to do that? And then call me back and see how you feel. She said, well, I guess I could do that. And she called back a week later and said, Jerry, you wouldn't believe how much my husband changed. And then she laughed. She said, no, I know it was my shift in my perception that changed this. And I really learned how important it is to be a love finder rather than a fault finder.
And she's still married.
She's still married.
They're still married, right. So, I mean, this, once again, was such a great lesson for us in remembering that what we're feeling inside always gets projected out. The way we see the world is based on the original thoughts that are created within our own minds. If we're able to see love in the world, it's because we're experiencing it in ourselves. If we see fear, hate, blame, all of that is because it is also originating inside of us. We don't want to admit that, but in order to see the world that way, it first has to have some level of origination inside of us. So we have a choice always to be a love finder or a fault finder. It doesn't mean we don't see what's happening in the world. Very clearly we do. There's no denial here at all. It's looking at it and saying there's another way of looking at the world, and I can choose the way that I perceive someone. I can see them as either loving, or I can see them as fearful, giving a call of help for love.
And we have ego minds, that's part of our minds, that are working overtime, trying to stimulate us, trying to tempt us into making judgments and to blaming other people rather than being a love finder.
Every day is a choice.